Hi ladies, this is what we're going to be making today, a lollipop flower card. Going to need clear stamps. This is a sneak of one of my new ones from Personal Impressions, a mini mister up the right way, VersaFine ink, some scraps. We're going to be using the circle nestabilities, 4 different sizes. Doesn't matter which sizes you use, depending on your card. Little scraps of cardstock, so never throw all your bits away. The lovely little glitterati gems that we have, some twine. Oh look, my husband just bought me in a mandarin, isn't that cute? I'll have that after this. And a card. Okay, I'm going to start off with just by tearing down the little scrap of stripy card. As you tear down, hold it towards you and use your thumb as a guide. Then I'm going to just break in little notches on there, just so that we can curl it down. Use your finger, put a little bit of spit on your finger if you like, it helps. It sounds horrible, but it helps. And you get a nice little curled effect. And then with the circles that you've cut out, I use nestabilities with my Cuttlebug, and you can just sort of like rough them up a little bit. You can do really sort of smooth, nice ones, but if you want to make them look a little bit rougher, then go for it. I've also used coordinations cardstock here, and that's lovely when you sand it. I think most of you know what coordinations is now. If you don't, we've got some in the shop. And you're welcome to come along to Sugar and Spice Crafts. Oh, I love the selling bit. So you're just going to go along, just going to sand all the edges just to make them look a bit old. It just works well with this kind of cardstock. It's just lovely, just to give it a little bit of a vintage look. So you're going to do that on all 6 of them. And then that's it, last little one, here we go. There's a terrible bit later where I'm sticking on these little gems. Oh, it takes forever, but you'll find out soon. We're going to take our little stripy bit and stick it to the front of our card. Okay, just a bit of double-sided tape. Going to stick it straight down on there. Haven't inked the edges. You could always ink the edges if you wanted to. While it's stuck down, now's a good time as well to just ruffle those edges up a bit, make it look a bit distressed. And now I'm going to take one of my new stamps and ink it up and then stamp it onto my pre-cut piece of white card. And it says Sugar and Spice and All Things Nice, very apt I should say. Stickles, I haven't used stickles for ages. And instead of using my usual glamour dust that I use, I'm just applying it with my finger and just going around the edge. And you're probably not going to be able to see this on camera too well. If you pop in the shop, you'll see the card there, and it just looks really effective. I just haven't played with stickles for such a long time. Right, okay. Next bit, I'm just waffling around here, aren't I? Oh yeah, I'm going to join the flowers together. So a little bit of double-sided tape just on the backs of them. Join them all up. Here we go. It's really hard, you know, when you're just sitting here talking away. Normally I have no problem talking, and then I'm thinking, what do you guys want to hear? You don't want to hear me waffling on. But I will be enjoying my mandarin later. I thought it looked really cute with all the little leaves on it. I thought it looked nice, like a real mandarin. Right, this is the bit that is just so painful. I'm using these little gems. A lot of you have got these from us. They're like £2.50 a sheet. You get so many on there. I can't tell you how many you get. I've never counted them. But there is so many. We've got a really small size, which is the one I'm using now. And then there's the next size up, which I'll be using on the bigger flower. You just literally use your pokey tool if you want. I'm using the end of my lovely Martha Stewart scissors. Love my Martha Stewart scissors. I don't know how many times I could say Martha Stewart scissors. Because they've got a lovely fine point, my Martha Stewart scissors. And just picking them up and then placing them down. They're self-adhesive. Fiddly little things, but absolutely lovely, and they work out so much cheaper than using like little diamantes, and they're flatter as well, so that you've not got too much bulk, like especially if you're thinking about posting things, because we're mounting these up on foam as well, and all this thing about, you know, if it's too thick then you have to pay extra to get it through the letter boxes, and I don't know. Anyway, so I'm using the little tiny ones, and all I'm doing is just filling in the centre of my lollipop flower. I just thought it'd be different than putting a button on, or, you know, one big diamante or a bit of ribbon. and it just adds a little bit of bling to it. And seeing as I haven't got any glamour dust on here, I thought to go with my stickles, I better add a little bit more bling to it. If any of you have never used Nestabilities, you're welcome to come in the shop and you know, have a little go at using ours just to see what they're like. They're absolutely brilliant, especially for things like this. On this one, on the big flower, I'm putting the bigger gems on, but I'm just going to do a circle. The easiest way to do this is treat it like a clock. So start one at the top and then go one down at the bottom, then go 6 o'clock. Sorry, 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock. I don't know what my clock is. 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock, and then the ones in between. It just makes it nice and evenly spaced. You can also, these stick down, they're self-adhesive, but if you need to move them a little bit afterwards, you've still got time to move them around. They're not permanent immediately. Once they are stuck on though, after a wee while, then yes, they are permanent, and chances are you won't get them off. You will find when you use the little ones, they ping off and you get them. You do good nail art with them actually. They get stuck all over your nails and then you find them up your arms and all that. Yay, I finally finished. I waffled on, didn't I? That was good. Right, now using my mini mister, I've just filled it with water. I'm going to spray away, obviously. And I've just got my basil cardstock and I'm just going to give it a little, I've spritzed it with the water both sides, and then I'm just going to twist it up. Sorry, my hands are a bit out of view. I didn't realise I was so far back. So just keep twisting and twisting. Here we go. You're going to start seeing it in a minute. Oh, no, I didn't even show you it. Sorry about that. You'll have to see it at the end. And then with the thicker one, because I'm going to use the thicker one on the bigger flower and the thinner one on the smaller flower, obviously, twist it up, makes it nice and pliable. I'm liking that word lately. I think I used that in the last video. Pliable. That can be word for the week. So yeah, just twist it. Sometimes I actually staple the ends to make them sort of sit there better. You really need to let it dry. In this video I haven't let it dry too well because of a time span, obviously, because you only get so long to do this. Put little foam pads on the back of my sentiment, stick it down to some green cardstock that matches the stems, and then I'm gonna stick that down onto the card. The stickles is dry now because it was nice and flat on there. So there goes my little sentiment. I'm going to put thicker foam pads on there because I want this to stand out off the curl top of the card. So I need it to, I've lost some of my foam pads then, there they are. So thicker foam pads, and here we go with our stems. We're going to place them on, put the double-sided tape over the top, make sure that's stuck down really well so it holds it in place for you. Going to do that with both of them. Sometimes it's a bit hard to get the tape off when the stems are wet, because obviously if the cardstock's wet it really doesn't like it too much. So it is always best if you can let it dry, but for recording purposes I had to do it while it was wet. I'm going to trim that down just so that it's at the right sort of length. Okay, joining them together, I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on. This is the bit where it doesn't like it when it's wet, so you'll see me like sort of struggling away here trying to grab a little bit of tape, but this just holds it in place while you're going to tie a little bow with some twine. We sell lovely twine in the shop. I know it sounds stupid, but I love twine. It's just so nice. I didn't like that. I think I've done it too high up. Yep, I'm going to undo that. That's the nice thing, you can just go back and undo things. So I'm going to bring that down a little bit more. I just thought it was a little bit high, and tie a little bow. This is great for like a new baby card and a birthday card. They just, lollipop flowers are just lovely. So, so nice. So trim off your excess, and then we're going to get the card, take the foam pads off the back. Here we go, nearly off. Always go, here we go, and you're going to stick that down just to overhang the edge of the card a little bit. It just looks nice. You can move it around so you're happy with it, and then I'll pop a little bit of double-sided tape underneath just to hold that in place, and there we have it, one lollipop card.